If you're a parent, then you must watch this video. Come behind the scenes of Tony Robbins helping a 13-year-old girl who was suicidal find meaning for her life. Hey, welcome back to the Self-Mastery Show. My name is Luke Pierce and I am a seeker and teacher of self-mastery techniques. In today's breakdown of the breakthrough, we are going to go behind the scenes of a Tony Robbins live intervention where he helps out a 13-year-old girl who is suicidal and does not want to be here anymore find meaning for her life. I'll tell you right now, if you are a parent, you absolutely must watch this all the way through. And if you know people who have got children, then send this video to them. It could potentially save their life. I'm going to warn you right now, this is going to be an absolute tearjerker. This video, I'm going to do my very best to get through it as I am a father myself. And I tell you what, this is just so heavy hitting and so important to know and understand that it is the most important thing that you could be doing right now. Let's go. Okay, so here we are in the video. Now, a little bit of context for this. It was, and I'm pretty sure, a UPW, so Unleash the Power Within event, or it could even be Date with Destiny event. So out of all the crowd, potentially 1,000 to anywhere 5,000 people, Tony Robbins would have said, hey, who in the audience is feeling suicidal at the moment? And he gets them up live in person and helps them to change the way that they think, feel, and act. Now, in this case, a young lady, 13-year-old girl, has raised their hand. Could you just imagine being in a room with 1,000 to 5,000 people and watching this young, brave, and strong woman raise her hand and say, yes, I am actually feeling suicidal. I've attempted it before in the past and I want to do something about it. Imagine the courage that needs to be within in order for that to happen without. Let's dive into the video and I'll break it down as we go.
Life isn't worth living. I took the pills about 2 months ago, and most of it has to do with my parents. I don't feel like they understand me. I just told them that I was having these thoughts and I just wanted someone to talk to, like a counselor.
So we need to stop it right there. There's a lot of things happening in this video very, very straight off. So the very first thing that comes out of this young lady's mouth is life is not worth living. A huge limiting belief or a limiting decision that somewhere along the line got decided on, got attached, and got accepted within her unconscious mind. Now, I want you to think about this. If someone's deep down core belief that life is not worth living, what's one of the things that they're probably going to attempt? Suicide. Exactly. Why? Because life's not even worth living. Why bother? Now, she goes on to say things like, well, life isn't worth living and there's so much going on. I just want my mom and dad to be happy and, you know, all these sorts of other different things. But I wanted to bring that up very, very quickly because that is the core problem or challenge within this whole situation.
Counselor or something, and they just kind of pushed it aside. They didn't believe me. They just thought I wanted attention. But I actually took a lot of pills, and then I told my parents, look, you need to get me to the hospital right now, because...
So they didn't believe me. They just pushed me aside. She was saying, hey, I need to talk to a counselor. I need to talk to someone who can help me out. If you are a young person and you're getting pushed aside and you believe that no one is listening to you, that's going to be very, very frustrating. So what do? Well, obviously in this case, she's gone out, she's taken a whole bunch of pills to get her mom and dad's attention. At the end of the day, attention is attention, whether it's good or bad. And in this case, she's doing the best she can with what knowledge she had back then. And she has made the decision to obviously take the pills.
If you don't, I am going to die. And I wanted to live, but in the back of my mind, there was still that little voice that was like, you don't want to live, you don't want to live.
That little voice in the back of my mind, you don't want to live, you don't want to live, you don't want to live. That's very important to understand.
She feels her parents don't understand her. And for a woman, which she's a young girl, but there's a woman inside.
Imagine the transition, 13-year-old, like Robbins has said, woman, young lady. She's not a girl anymore. She's not a little kid anymore. She's going through the transition of growing up into the world and experiencing different things and looking at different things and taking on board different things. It's going to be a very, very challenging time. And if you've got no one in your corner, so to speak, that can help you out, that can listen to you, that you can just talk to, oh my goodness, you are going to feel very, very alone.
Men, this is a lesson for you, for your daughters, as well as the woman in your life. There's nothing more important besides being loved than for a woman to feel understood. So,
did you hear that? There's nothing more important for, it doesn't even have to be women, just people, just general people to feel loved and to be understood, to be seen, to be heard. It's a very, very powerful thing. And like I said, when that is not there, it is going to cause a whole bunch of problems that are not going to turn out that great.
she doesn't feel understood by her parents. What's happening between your mom and dad that you want to distract them from?
Notice the question, what's happening within your life, within your parents' relationship that you want to distract them from? Remember that in a minute.
I do have some problems with their marriage.
Look at the smile on her face. She knows that what she is doing is not necessarily just for her. It's not that she hates her life and that, she doesn't accept herself and all these sorts of things. Is that the pain of what she's witnessing outside is too much to bear. And therefore, she's trying to distract and do the very best that she can in order to get a different outcome. And you can see right now in a moment that it is deeply, deeply affecting her.
You're afraid they're going to divorce?
I have thought that, yeah.
What if they're not happy with their marriage and they choose to change that?
My mom.
Now what Robbins is going to do is he's going to start asking different questions rather than telling her, all right, because the whole purpose or intention of this is she wants to be heard. She is a young adult. She wants to be able to sort this out for herself, but she needs someone to talk to ask these specific questions so she comes up with the answer herself. I can tell you right now that when you come up with the answer yourself, you think that you've bloody invented it. You think that you've invented fire itself. But if I tell you, if someone else tells you, maybe you don't really give it that much value. But this is a very powerful moment. Let's look.
Knows that they have problems, and she's tried to tell my dad, and my dad is an extremely hard person at times, and he just does not want to hear it. And sometimes I just feel torn because my mom will try and pull me against my dad, and my dad tries to pull me against my mom.
So mom and dad are having challenges, as life will produce. It is bound to happen. And now the young lady, this young girl, is now getting torn between both parents. Now, as a young lady, a young woman, her biggest fear is probably watching her mom and dad, not like each other, hate each other, have conflict and fight and all these sorts of things, right? So that's going to be something that would be happening all the time. And if that is happening all the time, it is only a matter of time before someone would want to check out of playing that game.
He never used to be like that. When they first met, he was the most caring, wonderful, loving person she'd ever met. They've been married for 17 years.
Now, she switched on, this young lady, but notice what she said. Hey, dad was never always this way. Apparently he used to be loving, used to be kind, all these sorts of things, and then something happened.
Wow. How many of those years were they happy?
6, maybe.
So half your life they were happy and the other half they're not.
Well, I wasn't born, because I've asked my mom that. I was like, did he start acting this way after I was born? She's like, no, it was about a year or two before you were born.
A year or two before this young lady was born, apparently things started to change in the dad's life and in the dynamic of the relationship. Stay tuned. Keep that in mind for a few seconds' time.
What do you think happened a year before you were born?
I have no clue.
I have no clue what happened before, obviously, she was born. Makes sense.
What matters most in the end?
My family staying together.
So her belief is the most important thing is her family staying together. But as Robbins is going to ask, hey, what if that means that your mum and dad are miserable and it teaches you and your sisters to just stay in a relationship that you don't necessarily like and sacrifice, the one thing that you have, your life?
Their daughter's suicidal. They better stick together, huh? Genius.
Now look at the face on this young lady. Like Robbins just said, you are a genius. You are not a bad person. You are not someone who wants to end your own life. You're someone that wants to end conflict and suffering within people around you. You are a beautiful young lady and you want the best for people around you. But guess what? You're going about it in a way where you think by taking your own life, you're going to keep your family together. So remember right at the very start, she said, hey, life is not worth living. And now she's got to the point where the belief is that all she wants to do is have her family stay together. And if she is suicidal, then in her mind, she has linked that to the family staying together. So once again, her purpose or intention was not to harm herself, was not to cause chaos, but it was actually to bring peace and love and connection into the family unit. And she's just worked that out. And she's like, oh, that's awkward. And maybe even a little bit silly as well.
There's one thing you don't understand, that you don't want to hear, but you need to, and I know you're willing to, because if you look in my eyes, you know I have a love for you that doesn't come from...
Now, here is the truth, people. And obviously, Tony Robbins is an absolute master at this, but he's saying, hey, this is coming from my heart. This is coming from a place of me not wanting anything from you. It's coming from a place of you not giving me anything. This is just the truth of the world that maybe you don't want to hear, but as a young lady, especially dealing with the things that you're dealing with, you need to hear.
Something you're giving me. Your mom and dad may need to be apart. I don't know. They may be miserable because they have completely different approaches to what they want for life. And they may feel trapped because they love you. As long as you're attached to that specific result, then you're no longer committed to the happiness of the people involved.
Notice how he's not telling her anything. They're just having a conversation, but the way that he's laying it out, it's all pretty logical, step-by-step sort of things, and it's easy to take on board.
What matters most is they stay together, even if they're miserable, that they should stay out of fear and guilt till you all grow up. So they should have a decade of their life miserable.
And she doesn't want that. She wants love and connection and all the amazing things that she wants for her family. She doesn't want people to be suffering and have pain and all these sorts of things. And right now, what's being linked up within her unconscious mind is the family staying together might be the biggest thing that is causing the problems and the challenges. Obviously, maybe it's time to let the grip go of how things need to be, let go of the attachment, and walk down a different path and see what is down there.
That way you won't kill yourself. And then your sisters and you can learn that a relationship is about giving up everything and being unhappy. And then you guys can all do the same thing.
Now, she knows that that's not true. She knows that a relationship is not for the purpose or intention of staying with someone and being miserable your whole entire life. She's witnessing that on the outside, and she knows deep down inside that that's not what it is. But guess what? At the unconscious level, the penny has just dropped.
Ooh, that one went in deep, didn't it? Ooh, wow.
No, I was just thinking.
Now, notice what happened. There was a massive pause. She was in trance. She would not have been looking at Tony Robbins or the crowd or anything else. She was deep within, and she was visualizing. She was having her own experience in the inner world, linking up all these new connections and these new learnings within the unconscious mind.
About something I hadn't thought about before. My mom told me something. Before they were married, she got pregnant. And my dad really wanted to have kids, and my mom didn't, so they had an abortion.
Let's stop it there. Remember how she was saying right at the very start of this intervention that somewhere along the lines, a year or 2 years before her being born, something changed within the family unit, something changed within dad. In that little bit of a trance that she was in, her unconscious mind has now given her access to information that has been stored there the whole entire time, but she wasn't aware of it. Now she's aware of this information. Oh my God, before I was born, mom and dad actually had a miscarriage. That really would have affected my dad. And everything is starting to link up and connect within.
And I think he blames her for that. I think she blames herself for that too.
You just came up with the answer to what happened before you were born. Give her a hand for that. That's beautiful.
I mean, the strength and the beauty that this young lady has already got and have had to have in order to stand up and do this. Oh my God, like how, inspiring is this for the other 5,000 people in the room, that this would have been universal in their life in some way, shape, or form. And now everyone is learning from it. The biggest thing that I want to point out is Tony Robbins, once again, is he knows exactly what it is that he's doing, exactly the questions that he needs to ask, but he's letting her do the work. It's a very flow-based type of change rather than what sometimes he's, normally used to doing, changing people's state and be very direct and all these sorts of things. It's absolutely beautiful to watch.
We have a choice in our life to give things a meaning. The meanings we give control our entire lives. Big problems start with little thoughts.
He's giving her choice. Hey, I want you to understand that the meaning that you attach to things is going to the meaning that you live.
And great achievements start with little thoughts. So you want your mom to be happy and you want your mom to feel loved. Mm-hmm. So what's the truth? Can you really control all this?
No.
There's the breakthrough. Let go of the attachment.
Attempt to take your life again under any circumstance, no matter how crazy or scary it is?
No.
Why not?
Because I know that I'm not responsible for my parents' problems and I can't put all their blame on myself.
Oh my goodness, what a relief. What a relief for that young lady. She has probably lived God knows how many years with that negative emotion, with that chaos, with that pain, whatever it is that you want to call it. And now she's finally realized one of the biggest things that we all need to realize in this world. Hang on a second. Other people's lives, other people's way that they live their life is not my responsibility. My responsibility is myself, how I feel, and the things that I can influence and control within my own model of the world. I tell you what, this is very, very freeing for this young lady and a lot of people within the room as well. This is so powerful. Listen to this, right? When children misbehave, they are often trying to distract their parents from a deeper conflict and to heal what remains unsaid. My goodness, people, we got to understand that your children are just teeny tiny little humans. They aren't just children. They are going through their own things, their own experiences, doing the very best they can with what it is that they've got. Do yourself a favor and listen. Do yourself a favor and let them know that they are seen, that they're heard, that they're loved, and that they can talk to you anytime, anywhere about any single thing. If you are a parent, I really do hope that you got a lot out of this video. If you know a parent, please send them this video just to give them a little bit of a reminder that the people that they love the most are watching every single thing that they are doing. If you wanted to change a person's life, what better life to change than the people that you love the most? Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Do yourself a favor, like the video, comment on this video, and let me know what was the biggest learning or takeaway that you got out of this episode. Until next time, master your mind and you will always master your life.